Watching a Philly Sports Classic presentation.
Finally, the fight card's main event. It featured a Southern boy who was born to be bad. He was born in Augusta, Georgia, but Bad Bennie Briscoe would forever be known as one of Philadelphia's all-time greatest fighters. Briscoe had a long and storied career. In fact, he was ranked by Ring magazine as one of the top 100 punchers of all time, and he would forever be known as one of the greatest boxers who never won a title. On this night, Bad Bennie, who was riding an 8-fight win streak, fought a Mexican southpaw by the name of Emetrio Villanueva. Now, Villanueva had made a name for himself in the amateurs, but in the professional ranks, he already had 14 fights under his belt, leading up to this match with Briscoe. Let's head back to the Spectrum now in Philadelphia.
I'll tell you, this night coming up here, Hugh, is probably going to be a big test for Bennie Briscoe. He's waiting for a good shot at the World Crown, and he's come up with his first southpaw ever in his 14-year career that he's ever fought. Now, they say that he wanted a tightener, as they do in horse racing. You take a horse out for a tightener, and they wanted Bennie to have a tightener here, but for all purposes, why would they go with a left-hander that he's never fought before? But he could have an upset here with this Emetrio Villanueva, and he doesn't have the quickest hands in the world, but they say that he can punch with the best.
I don't know, Bobby. One thing about it, Bennie, you would think that would wait till his 14 years along in the ring and decide to finally fight a southpaw after hoping to get a shot at Carlos Monzon, one of the more popular Philadelphia fighters ever. 33-year-old Bennie Briscoe, unbeaten in his last 8 fights, and this youngster Villanueva, interestingly enough, had been on the 1972 Mexican boxing team.
You know, Hugh, he's only been a pro for 3 years, and but that's deceiving, because he's had about 59 amateur fights, and he's fought all over the world. And I think that just because he's been a pro, he hasn't had that many pro fights. He's 13-1-1, but.
Well, take a look at Bennie Briscoe's record over his 14-year career, Bobby. 54 wins, 14 losses, and 5 draws, and 45 KOs, and that's certainly an impressive record for the 33-year-old Bennie Briscoe, and it would seem if 45 out of 54 times that we're going to see a knockout here tonight. Villanueva, as Bobby said, but 30 years old, turned pro only a couple of years ago. He's 13 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, and 12 knockouts. So this doesn't look like it will go the scheduled 10 rounds.
No, they both got power in their punches, and Bennie, of course, as you heard when he was being introduced there, is, like you say, one of the most popular fighters to come out of Philadelphia, along with Willie the Worm Monroe. And I had the privilege of meeting Bennie in that Flyer benefit softball game. And he played second base. We said, Bennie, you play second base. So he stood right on second base. He was making sure nobody was going to get to second. And who's going to argue with Bennie?
Bennie Briscoe right above us as you look at Villanueva. This is the young man from Mexico, Emetrio Villanueva. Oh, Bennie Briscoe and Villanueva. Villanueva weighing in for tonight's fight at 159 pounds and Briscoe at 160. Bennie unbeaten in his last 8 fights. Let's see how he handles the left-hander Villanueva. Lord, he looks like a big middleweight, Bob, Villanueva.
He is. He's a lot taller and he's strong. He's not the fastest in the world with his hands, but he can stand there and he can punch. The thing is with Bennie, I think that a lot of what's suspect about him is that his age. He's 33 years old now, and he might be getting a little bit too old to have that big shot at Carlos Monzon, but he sure wants it badly.
Well, everybody thinks that, once you get to the 33 figure, that the legs start to go. But I don't know, Bennie will have to prove us wrong tonight. And a big fight upcoming. Bennie would like to think perhaps a middleweight go-round with Carlos Monzon, maybe 1 or 2 fights away. Villanueva jabbing with the right. Briscoe trying to counter with the right.
That famous trainer Angelo Dundee saying that in order to beat this young kid here, he is going to have to go to the body and take the fight to him early. Go right after him.
Villanueva scored with a hook that time than Briscoe. Bennie with a right that was on the ear of Villanueva. No damage done there. Bennie with a good right on Villanueva's chin. Bennie Briscoe in the white trunks hits Villanueva with a solid right. And Villanueva in trouble against the ropes. There he goes. Turned around, did not go down. Briscoe with two right hooks. Powerful right hooks to the body of Villanueva.
He has landed two solid rights, Hugh, that really took their toll. In fact, Mr. Villanueva kind of staggered away from there. Let me out of here. Let me out of here.
Briscoe with gloves up high, a balding pate. Emetrio Villanueva, first southpaw that Bennie Briscoe has fought. Scored with a right that time. Another right jab into Bennie's head. Bennie trying to counter as Villanueva tries to cover up. Little wild tosses there. Right lead by Villanueva.
You know, many
trying to line that left up, Bobby, but it's pretty tough to do.
Yeah, it sure is. Villanueva seems a little bit uncertain of.
Oh, solid right, Bobby. His knees buckled. Another right by Briscoe. But he doesn't cover up, Bobby, as Bennie Briscoe storms in on Villanueva. Good left that time to the eye of Villanueva. Bennie Briscoe obviously in control in round one. Left and right by Villanueva as Briscoe tries to cut off the ring. That's the end of round one, and obviously, as we said earlier, it looks like Bennie Briscoe's round.
I don't think we'd have much argument on that score there. Here it is again. Bennie misses with a wild right, backs him off with another right. He comes through here and starts to score heavily. There's the right. There's the one that hits him. He comes through with another right, and this is where Mr. Villanueva says, let me out of here. Right there. That's the right that hurt.
A Philly Sports Classic presentation continues next.
This week only at Littman Jewelers. Get this half-carat total weight diamond ring in white gold for just $399. That's over 50% off. For a chance to win this ring, text GIFT to 80565. Share the joy with Littman Jewelers.
This week, it's the Pep Boys Holiday Savings Event. Through Sunday, get holiday deals on great gifts for everyone on your list. Get a Rightway 550 GPS, just $65. Or get a Peak Jumpstart for only $14.98 each. Pep Boys does everything, from oil to tires, from brakes to major engine repair, for less. Pep Boys will beat all service and tire deals, guaranteed.
Pep Boys does everything for less.
We gave a dump truck
and found over 1,700 pounds of payload.
I gave 5-alarm chili, and I got a powertrain back for 5 years or 100,000 miles.
I gave a work coat, then bought a Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road.
Come help your Chevy dealer support stockings for kids. And right now, qualified lessees can get a low-mileage lease on a 2011 Silverado half-ton LT All-Star Edition for around $299 a month. See how your dealer is giving at facebook.com/Chevrolet.
The stunning Everlon Diamond Knot Collection is available at Littman Jewelers, starting at just $179. And for a chance to win an Everlon pendant, text ADORE to 80565. Share the joy with Littman Jewelers.
You're watching a Philly Sports Classic presentation.
You can clearly see why they call Bennie Briscoe Bad Bennie. Briscoe continued to work Villanueva in round two. Let's pick up the action now in round three.
Briscoe has that funny style. Looks like he has his head down all the time. You know, and all of a sudden, bam, he cracks you with that right lead.
Bennie Briscoe on your right, Villanueva on your left. Bennie ducking from the midsection. Villanueva missed with a wild uppercut, but continues to jab away and throw the right, follow with the left hook as Bennie Briscoe has Villanueva on the move here in round three.
You know, Villanueva's been compared to that Rafael Guitare, or how you ever pronounce those names there, that almost wrecked Bennie's career back in '71 there. But as the fight goes so far, Hugh is not going to wreck his career now if he keeps this up.
Briscoe Right into the camera. Back to the camera. Bennie Briscoe. And that's the end of round 3. Bennie Briscoe and Emetrio Villanueva.
A Philly Sports Classic presentation continues next.
Treat yourself to TGI Fridays, and we'll treat you to our tantalizing Black Angus Petite Sirloin or a half rack of our mouth-watering ribs for only $8.99. That's 2 delicious plates to choose from for just $8.99. Only at TGI Fridays.
Need new tires? Get them at a great price, expertly mounted and balanced right at your home or work with Tire Van. Never waste time in a tire store again.
Tire Van came right to my office. What a no-hassle way to get tires.
Get all major brands for your car, SUV, or light truck and save 20% or more fully installed.
This is the second time I've used Tire Van because it's so convenient.
Tire Van is the best way to buy tires. Go to TireVan.com to choose the tires best for your budget and driving needs. Then schedule installation at home or work. For expert advice, talk with a Tire Van tire specialist. Your highly trained Tire Van technician will mount and balance your new tires with care using state-of-the-art equipment. With Tire Van, you get it all. Unmatched convenience with great prices, huge selection, professional service, and expert advice. Right here in the metro area. Go to TireVan.com and see why TireVan.com is the best way to buy tires.
Treat yourself to TGI Fridays, and we'll treat you to our tantalizing Black Angus Petite Sirloin or a half rack of our mouth-watering ribs for only $8.99. That's 2 delicious plates to choose from for just $8.99. Only at TGI Fridays.
You're watching a Philly Sports Classic presentation.
Here's the shot of that knockdown right here, Hugh. But he comes with that left leg, and see, this is where he fools you. He does look like he's looking at you, and all of a sudden, bang, he comes right up and hits you. There's a delayed one there. That one stunk.
Indeed. Right hook as we're ready for the start of round 4. Middleweight go round between Bennie Briscoe and Villanueva.
It was a little bit low on that one, Hugh, I think.
Yeah, Bennie bounced away.
Well, Villanueva seems to be coming back strong even after that strong right drop down that Bennie gave him in the last round.
Well, we've had 3 really good fights so far here at the Spectrum on our first sporting event ever. And this is no different. Another wild exchange by both boxers there as Bennie Briscoe continually cuts down the ring. And Bob, it is Villanueva bleeding rather profusely from the right eye. A couple of solid lefts by Villanueva.
That's what stopped his the last fight. The only defeat that he had, Villanueva, was a cut. Maybe he tends to be a bleeder, as they say in the boxing circles.
Bleeding from both the right and left eye, Bob. Quite a bit of blood here in the Spectrum ring.
Something had to happen, though, Hugh. You know, Bennie landed too many solid punches there in those first 3 rounds.
Hit him back, Bennie. Hit him back the same way. Hit him back the same way.
I guess they're referring to those low blows that there happen to be glancing in there.
Briscoe scored there, Bob. Villanueva in really heavy trouble. Blood all over his face. Bleeding from cuts on both the right and left eyebrow.
I'll tell you, Hugh, I don't think this fight's going to last much longer. He's really taking a beating, this Villanueva. I think he probably wishes he was that ex-football player.
Right. Oh, a solid right by Bennie Briscoe.
He is a tough kid, though, I'll tell you.
Indeed.
He hasn't gone down yet. Bennie has landed great shots.
Oh, there he goes, Bobby.
That's it.
Oh, that's it. Another delayed shot. Blood all over the face of Emetrio Villanueva. And Tommy Reed is allowing them to continue. Bobby, they ought to stop this fight right here and now.
Oh, it is. I'll tell you, Hugh, Bennie's going to kill this poor guy. He is cut very bad on both eyes, like you say.
Everybody is saying stop the fight directly behind us, Bobby, but allowing it to continue. Tommy Reed is apparently thinking they're superficial cuts. Bennie Briscoe with another solid shot to the midsection. Villanueva getting his gloves up a bit higher to protect his eyes, but Briscoe right over top.
You have to give this kid a lot of credit for courage, Hugh. I'll tell you.
Indeed. Boy, that's big A for a heart.
Yes, sir. If he didn't have the heart, he'd gone down a long time ago and stayed there.
Briscoe trying to box Villanueva into the corner. And that's the end of round 4. Big hand.
They've called the doctor up in the ring now, Hugh. Doctor's coming over to take a look at those cuts to see if the fight should go on. Here's the action right here. Here's where Bennie hits him. He's opening up cuts in both eyes. The staggering blow.
Solid right, Bob.
There it is, right there. He's been hit so many times that he...
That's it, Bob.
That's the game. They've stopped it. They've stopped it. Once again, Hugh, cuts have stopped us. Danny Villanueva. There I go again, a football player. It's Emetrio Villanueva. The cuts have stopped the fight again. It was a second defeat. Although I'll tell you, if he wouldn't have such a big heart, I think Bennie would have stopped it with a clear knockout.
Well, certainly the people can't complain about the 4 fights so far this evening, Bobby, and Rudy Donato winning the first fight by decision in 6 rounds, and we'll see it once again, the first of the 2 knockdowns. Well, this is here in the 4th round.
Here it is. There it is, that staggering right hand. Bennie Briscoe used his right hand a great advantage tonight. He scored repeatedly with that good right lead. Staggered him effectively. Angelo Dundee was wrong. He said he should have went to the body. Bennie went to the head and he just KO'd him.
Villanueva coming over to congratulate Bennie Briscoe, who has just won his 55th fight in his 14-year career. You know, at least it's our opinion anyway, for a fighter with only 15 professional fights to go in with a world-class fighter like Bennie Briscoe. It takes a lot of courage, but wasn't doing badly at all.
No, here's the announcement right here.
Bennie Briscoe.
Sadly, boxing events at the Spectrum didn't last too much longer after these bouts. The bright lights of a little place called Atlantic City forced promoters to move matches out of Philadelphia to the East Coast version of Las Vegas. While boxing in the smaller clubs, however, did continue to thrive, Philly's place as a possible big money venue basically faded into the darkness. But one thing never changed, and that was Philadelphia's reputation as one of the best fight towns in America. Since 1976, at least 15 Philadelphia fighters have won titles in their weight classes. The most notable among them, Bernard the Executioner Hopkins. And coincidentally, one of the fighters Hopkins himself has recognized as one of the all-time greats is Bad Bennie Briscoe. Thanks for watching Philly Sports Classics. I'm Art Fennell.